DI Instructional Videos Electronic Series. In this series of instructional videos, you will learn how to use the Arduino as well as simple codes to use. May the power of electronics help you in your challenge.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. In the previous video, I told you about digital commands, and today I'm going to tell you about analog commands. Analog commands are very similar to digital commands when you use them. However, analog commands are special because they allow you to vary something, such as for an LED, the brightness. What we're going to do is we're going to use a for loop to make an LED vary in brightness from bright to dim and back again. This LED is plugged into pin 11 because pin 11 is a PWM pin. PWM stands for pulse width modulation, and PWM pins are special because they allow you to vary the brightness and as opposed to just being on or off. There are 6 total PWM pins on the Arduino. These are pins 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 11. Now let's get coding. First, we're going to have void setup. Since for PWM, you don't need to initialize the pin we're using for PWM, we're not going to put anything in there. Now for the loop. Inside the loop, we're going to use something called a for loop. What a for loop does is it allows you to keep on going until a certain number is hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable. And this variable is going to be an integer. So we're going to put the letters int so that the Arduino knows it's an integer. Then we're going to name it fade value. Because it's going to control how the pin fades. And finally, we can set it equal to 0 because the pin is going to start off. Now, a condition for this for loop is that it must be less than or equal to 255 because PWM pins work on a scale of 0 to 255. So we're going to put fade value is less than or equal to 255. Finally, we're going to put in fade value plus equals 5. Now what that does is it's an equation that adds 5 to the fade value every time you run the loop. So that way the fade value gets bigger and bigger so that the light bulb gets brighter and brighter. Now we're going to actually control the LED. So what we're going to use is a function called analog write, which allows you to control the PWM pin. First, we need to include the pin that is connected to, which is pin 11. Then the brightness is going to be fade value, the variable that we just created. This will cause the pin to be as bright as the fade value. After this, we're going to have a short delay of 30 milliseconds, so that it gives it time to brighten. Now we're going to have another for loop so that it dims. The way that this for loop is going to work is we're going to create another variable called fade value. But this time we're going to set it equal to 255. This for loop will happen once this for loop is complete. So once fade value is 255, this will no longer run and we will be brought into the second for loop. So the value will start as 255 as now the LED will be completely on. The condition for this for loop is that the fade value is greater than or equal to 0. And finally, we're going to decrease the fade value now because we're dimming it. So we're going to do fade value minus equals 5 instead of plus equals 5. Now inside it, we're going to analog write again the fade value. And have another delay of 30 seconds so that people can see it. And add a delay of 30 milliseconds so that people can see the difference. Now that our code is complete, it's time for us to upload it to the Arduino. And the upload is complete. As you can see, the LED is gradually getting brighter and then dimming. Thanks for watching.